Thanks for joining us on today's episode of TECHBRIDGE on Lagos Television. Of course, the time is right, and of course, the station is also right, Lagos Television. And we say on this show, all we do is talk about technology. We make you better at the end of this show. Sheyi Fumiola, today is my name. You're welcome on board.
You're welcome on board. My name is Tony Olagoke, and a number of times you discover that TECHBRIDGE has been giving you a lot of facility, a lot of opportunity, a lot of exposure,
information,
innovations, informations, and a lot of transformation. And as you stick to TECHBRIDGE today, you will enjoy a lot.
Okay, someone shared a story with me recently. It's talking about, you mentioned information, and it's still buttressing the fact that we are as good as the information we have and use.
Look at the rich people. Look at Bill Gates. It's the information and the research you do with it that makes you who you are.
Make use of it. Yeah. The story is so funny that the person said he bought a TV some years back when it was still black and white, and he bought it from Alaba, so to say, and he took it home. And before getting out of Alaba market, the TV was working, all the channels were showing. And he got home, he switched on the TV, and the TV was not showing anything. It was just, you know, that black and white thingy.
so something has gone wrong.
Yeah, so he felt, wow, I've been duped at Alaba. So he carried the old TV back to the shop at Alaba, and he was complaining bitterly that you sold the fake TV to me and the rest of it. The man said, did you attach the antenna, the external antenna? And he said, antenna. And the guy brought out the small antenna and attached, and the pictures were showing.
Can you imagine?
That is how
just because of lack of the understanding and information of what to be done
to the TV. So he had to go through the stress of taking the TV back home, back to Alaba, and back home again before the TV starts showing. That is how important information that we have is. So today on this episode of TECHBRIDGE, we are focusing on Code Lagos, and we talk about Code Lagos. It's a big thing now.
When you talk about coding, it's about bringing all the ideas, mindset, reasoning together, translating your ideas into what a system can implement.
Solving problems.
So now imagine when we have thousands of students coding. I can tell you that the future of Lagos is bright.
Really bright. The pilot phase was launched, I think, 2017, and it was targeted at schools. And eventually it was expanded to out of school, and now we have those two versions now across the state, across Lagos State. And it also involves a lot of some competition that will just encourage participants.
And in the next few weeks, a month, this place is going to be Silicon Valley of Africa.
Sure.
Already we have Alaba Market, we have Ikeja Computer Village, and now we are having Code Lagos. That is marrying the hardware and the software. So that means there won't be need for us to be buying most of the software from outside the country.
Because we can actually develop
all this
them.
Banking industry, telecom industry, our guys, our students will have something to do. And give it to Lagos State government.
Yes, we can give it to Lagos State. We actually went to one of the centers across Lagos, and that is at Ikeja Library. We talked to some students, and we also spoke with the delivery partner at that center. I think we should be connecting with that now.
Okay, let's go.
All right, connect with us. I'll be back after then. Thanks for joining us on this episode of TECHBRIDGE on Lagos Television today. And this episode is dedicated to Code Lagos. And we're picking one of the centers, and that is at Ikeja Library. We're here to see how things are going on here. We want to see the experience of the students at this place, what they are learning, why they chose to pick any of the courses here. From Mr. Shedrack, we got to know that there are 3 courses that you can study here. You can study Python, web development, and Java. Let's see how it goes, and we'll be back. Code Lagos is a program that is designed to accommodate everybody. So the program, the pilot scheme actually started with in-school programs. That's the people who are in the formal school, primary school, secondary school, junior and senior. So we've run that program for some time. So this Art of School is another extension to the program of CODELAGOS. So in a bid to reach the wider society, because we realize that we will not be able to reach our targets. You know, we wanted to at least meet up by 2019 to get like 2 million Lagosians to be able to write code. Okay, so we realize that we are not running at the speed at which we want by concentrating on the school, people in the school. So we have to reach out to the out of school. So we realize that we are reaching more people through these out of school programs. Because we just started this program last year, so this is the third batch. The sessions are 12 in hall, 12 classes in hall. So we run for 6 weeks. Like the current one that we are going right now is running for 6 weeks. So each student is required to at least to have attended 85% of the classes to be deemed to be fit to have graduated. So that's how the program runs. For example, at reception, we send the messages around, in fact, like this center now, there are forms for people to fill. We introduce people on Twitter, on Facebook, and even on radio and TV for people to register. So at the point of registration, you are informed the courses that are available. So for example, this third batch, we have 3 courses that we are running. The first one is Python programming. The second one is web development, and the third one is Java programming. So these 3 courses, you have to select one that you feel you want to, know more about, or you want to study. So each student is required to at least pick one of these 3 courses. So at the point of registration, you've already picked the course you want to do, and you also pick your center, which is a center. You also pick the timetable, because there is a time allotted, so that we don't have too much people in the class. We have a maximum of 40 people per class, and our classes run from 8:30 a.m. in the morning to 4 p.m. in the evening each day. It's free. This is Lagos State initiative. It's absolutely free to all Lagosians. Everybody can be part of it. There is no way we can reach our target audience if we are charging this. It's sponsored by Lagos. It's an initiative of Lagos State government. The success story can be seen in the face of the people. You can see that at the end of these programs, at the end of each program that we run, people always give testimony, as it were, and how this thing has gone and it has impacted their lives. Because we are talking about out of school people. They are not, some of them are workers. You see people running, even we have senior people in the civil service running to make sure they don't come late for classes, because they see something they are benefiting from. Nobody is pushing anybody. They are coming, and when they come, it's like they are opening their mind up to a new world of endless possibilities that is available in this computer age. And this is where the world is going. So everybody is catching the fever, as it were. So everybody wants to part of it. You see old people, you see senior people in their offices. You see people who just finished school, maybe they are just fresh graduates, or people are waiting for NYSC, or people who just finished their secondary school even. It's open to everybody, and the success rate is immeasurable. You will learn, and people, you learn, and you are getting in grips of what you are learning, and it's impacting, and you are beginning to form a career out of it. You see, it's a success story in endless. We start is a bit lower, especially for the junior classes. We start with what we call scratch. So unlike in this place that we are not doing scratch, out of school programs, we are doing scratch in the in-school program. The scratch program, is usually designed for primary school students, junior secondary school students. Then we now graduate to Python. So we develop it to that level. So that's the way it is. After the end of the 6 weeks, it ends. We do the end-line assessment, what we call end-line assessment. We assess the student and we measure those who have attended for the number of period in which we require. Then they graduate. So when they graduate, everybody goes. Then we design another session, and the office, Code Lagos office, will now decide when the next batch we start. Of course, before it starts, they will have announced to everybody. People will register. People, they will give their admission, because we need to be able to know how many people are interested, so that we can make provision for them. For example, this center, almost 300 people register for this center. So we will do so that when we know the number of people that are going to register, we will now be able to. They will now be able to allocate classes to them. Okay, because we must not have more than 40 people per class. This is a class going on right now. So 40 people for 2 hours. The next class, 40 people, like that, so that everybody will not select the time. It's so convenient. You select the time that is convenient for you. Okay, if you want Tuesday, if you want Monday, if you want Wednesday, if you want Thursday, like that. And you can select your time. You select your course. So I was curious, after talking with Mr. Shedrack, why some students are here, why they chose what they were studying here, and you'll be surprised at what their motives are.
Actually, I believe that there are a lot of things that can contribute in terms of programming. I study statistics, and we know that data science, it has actually gained ground, and I want to learn in order for me to be able to solve problems revolving around data science, machine learning, programming.
I have an interest in designing. I have a little bit of background in web design, so I decided to come for Code Lagos to work on my designing skills, because I intend to design my own website for my company. Yeah.
I was looking for a job that a machine can't do, something that's kind of like assured, and so I found out that programming is the perfect course for that.
When I was in school, we did a course called numerical analysis, and my project, I was actually going to do that thing as my project, numerical analysis, and I was so shocked when my grade supervisor told me, go and do things on MATLAB, and MATLAB is similar to Python programming. I wasn't having any knowledge because they didn't teach us in school, so I just had to go through tutorials, maybe to just cover that space doing my project. But after school, I just look at it, this is an opportunity for me, let me go out there to learn about this thing, which will add value to my course of study.
It's been amazing. It's really very insightful. I really go on websites and all, but to be able to make them is just another wonderful experience. So I really love it.
I think that's fantastic, sir, in the sense that I didn't expect it to be like this, because outside the world, things like this are actually expensive. So I wasn't expecting it's going to be a free affair, something. I wasn't expecting it to be so massive like this, but it actually caught my awareness, and it's actually okay for people that are actually looking for things to improve themselves as a youth in this country.
Amazing. It's been insightful. It's been eye-opening. Like I said, I had a bit of experience in web design, but this particular course is really bringing it home for me. Like, it's really practical, and I'm truly understanding everything I'm doing in class. Yeah.
It's a thumbs up to Governor Bondi, because he has actually seen what the youth are actually clamoring for, putting them in the right place at the right time. This is an affair where you can engage youth to be meaningful to the society. So thumbs up to Governor Bondi.
I think it's a really great initiative. I think it's impressive that they are giving people opportunity to train them for free. I think it's highly commendable, and it's something that they should keep doing. It's really good.
The experience has been nice, bringing people from different backgrounds, different aspects. Some of them, like, this is their first time. Our target is just to meet people that this is their first time. We are targeting beginners, those that have no prior knowledge. But we've actually been able to get students that actually, and we've been seeing output actually. People have been designing stuff. Right from the first classes, we try to get to know them, to know what they actually do, if they are working, so that we know how to adjust times. We try to know if they have prior knowledge, so that we know how to teach. Try to know what they did as a first degree, because there are some people that took statistics as a first degree, that are people here. So if they go through Python, data science is one of the few now that is emerging now, and it's a very interesting field. It's a new field. So if you are somebody that you have interest in that, right from that will tell you, oh, Python is very good for you. Learn Python, learn the basics. Once you understand the basics, trust me, you can flow. Understand? You can just, because data science now, if you are comfortable with technology, you will see that machine learning and AI, they are the future now, right now. So that's why we are here, to build the foundations, teach them what they need to do, so that by the time they leave here, they can start something on their own, they can people get it and they can work on it.
So we also spoke to the special advisor to the governor on education, that is Obafela Bank-Olemoh, about Code Lagos, what it's all about, and he gave a very great insight about the entire project. Let's connect with him.
One of the key things the governor has said is that Lagos must be a smart city. Why must Lagos be a smart city? We have 24 million people in Lagos. According to United Nations, 87 people come to Lagos every hour. It's the highest in the world. The closest to us is Delhi. Delhi is 67. Then New York is 11, London is 7. So I wish you could take the budget of these cities and compare it to the Lagos budget. So it just tells you that we know that it's a major challenge. So people are coming into Lagos. There's no way you can run a city of this size without technology. So we have to put technology into our education system, into our health system, into our policing system, into the way we run the city. Now the question is, how do we ensure that as we do this, the opportunities we throw up, Lagosians can take advantage of that opportunity? That's why the governor approved for us to do Code Lagos. So Code Lagos, the vision is simple. We want Lagos to be the technology frontier of Africa. If you're talking technology coding in Africa, you must think Lagos. That's what we're trying to do with Code Lagos. The vision is to train 1 million Lagosians on how to code by 2020. I'm sure you know that if you go all around Lagos now, all our public libraries, we have 12 out-of-school centers, which this library is one of the centers. As I speak to you now, we're training over 1,320 people on coding free of charge. 6 weeks program, totally free. Python, Java, web, how to develop websites, and blockchain technology, which is a new technology. We are doing it in Lagos at no cost. I mean, it's unparalleled. If you go to our schools today, if you go to Lagos schools today, we have 337 schools in Lagos, both government schools and private schools that are running, they have coding clubs funded by the Lagos State government through Code Lagos initiative. Now, what we've also done is for every school that's part of this program, we set up centers in those schools. We have strong private sector partnership. We have been able to raise over 150 million naira from private sector into Code Lagos program. The money we raise from this thing goes into an account managed by PricewaterhouseCoopers, and from there we set up. So we've set up coding centers in schools, low-income private schools. We've set up coding centers at no cost. So what we've also done is that if you're part of Code Lagos, we train your facilitators, which are the teachers in the school, at no cost. We train them every term, every holiday we are training these facilitators. We are also paying them a training grant. So if you're a facilitator within a government school, we pay you 25,000 naira per term. If you're a facilitator in a private school, we pay you 20,000 naira per term, paid for by the Lagos State government and their partners. So for us, what we're trying to ensure is when the technology jobs come up, we have Lagosians that can take advantage of that job. We don't want to make the mistake we made in the construction industry, where Lagos is a construction site, but you find out that we have Ghanaians, we have people from our neighbors that don't want to take advantage of this job. So Code Lagos is our response to that. We're saying to ourselves, the future of Lagos is going to be technology driven. How do we ensure that when those opportunities come, we have Lagosians trained to take advantage of that? That's Code Lagos. And you also know that one of the mandate the governor has said is that Lagos is the 5th largest economy in Africa, if it was a country. And by 2023, we want Lagos to be the 3rd largest economy in Africa. For us to do that, technology will play a key part in achieving that. So that's what we're doing in Code Lagos. By the end of the year, we would have trained over 150,000 Lagosians on coding. It's the biggest tech and edu initiative in Africa. Nothing as big as this. And it's a commitment of His Excellency to ensure that Lagosians, everybody's carried along, nobody's left behind, and we give Lagosians the opportunity to succeed. So that's what Code Lagos is about. We're excited about what we've done. Our target is that by the end of the year, 2018, we want to have 50 out-of-school centers and 1,500 schools in Lagos that are running coding classes.
Welcome back from that, should we call it journey?
It's a journey to the world of Code Lagos.
Yes, and if we listen carefully to some of the students, they were so, let me say, grateful to the state government, the Ministry of Education, and the Code Lagos team for putting this out for free. Most of them have a very big dream of developing their software, advancing their career, and this is just a very good opportunity for them.
Why won't they give appreciation to the organizer? Let me tell you, it's good to teach somebody how to fish rather than giving him how to eat the fish. So what you've done is you have empowered these guys. You see their brain will be working. Yes. I'm aware that there are different programming languages. There are Java, there are COBOL, there are .NET, there are C,
Python,
C#, Python, and a number of them. So if these guys can combine that efforts, that knowledge, that skills with what they are being taught in the school, they will excel. And I remember at a point, Microsoft actually paid an Indian, a young chap of 12 years old, billions of dollars for developing an app, and they just brand it with Microsoft. But it was actually developed by 12 years old guys in India. So I want to believe, we should begin to look forward to that era in Nigeria.
Exactly, we see young people. That means in the next few years, we'll see young people developing apps that could go global.
Fantastic. And it's just like you are sowing a seed, which will eventually germinate. Don't forget, if you put 1 corn, 2 corns under the ground, it will produce thousands, multiples. So that is what is happening.
So the effect we are going to get is going to be huge. It's not just about today alone. People might just be looking at it that okay, it's just Code Lagos thingy. In the next 5-10 years, we begin to see a change of power coming to Nigeria, coming to Lagos. Young people developing so many things that we usually get from overseas.
Don't forget, this will reduce crime rates, because guys will be engaged. They will channel their power, their strength, their skills, their brain. They will be creative, developing apps. Then there will be some people that will market what they've done. There will be so many chains of businesses around this Code Lagos.
Wow. So we should give it to Lagos State government and to the Code Lagos team as well. Okay, that should be our show today on Tech Bridge, and we are sure that you've enjoyed this episode. We'd like you to connect with us on our various social media platforms. Hey, if you watch Tech Bridge, like us on Facebook, drop your comments, ask your questions, and we'll respond almost immediately. Thanks once again. Sheyi Fumola, today is my name. See you some other time.
Thank you for watching today's episode. My name is Toyin Olagoke. Bye.
Bye.